We are Music Support are a small charity, as I imagine probably I think a lot of you who are here today are as well. So we're a small charity with big ambitions, and we help people that work in the music industry who are impacted by mental ill health or addiction. And yeah, I organized my first ever crowdfunder last Christmas. And it was a Gibson guitar that Gibson had very generously donated to us. That was signed by the Darkness. And we kind of, it was a resounding success. I more than doubled what I'd hoped I would raise, and we raised £10,950 through that.
Wow, that is good. That's very good. And so, Lynn, why did you, obviously, you're a charity. It sounds like you're doing some really great stuff, and there's obviously different ways you can raise money. Why did you choose to do a prize draw in particular at that time?
Well, traditionally, I have done a lot of fundraising through auctions, through online auctions, which has proven to be, very successful in the past. But if anyone here has done that as well, they may appreciate that an auction can be risky because you're really dependent on a small number of people that have a lot of money to be able to bid to be able to win an amazing prize. And it can be great, but it can also be quite alienating to a lot of fans because a lot of people don't have the money to be able to make a big bid on a prize. So I
Yeah.
had always wanted to do something that would be a lot more accessible to a lot more people. And so, yeah, I thought that I kind of seen that work that Crowdfunder I've done before, and a lot of your prize draws, and you mentioned the Glastonbury one already, but like I know you did a lot of really great stuff during COVID. There was an amazing crowdfunder with Arctic Monkeys, and I also saw the one that with Nick Cave where there were over 100 prizes, which I think is something that Phil had said. The more prizes you can have, the better. And that one raised 212,000. Now, like in a way, it seemed quite overwhelming because I'm like, how can we do this? But this is just following on from what Phil said. I'm like, well, listen, we've got to start somewhere. And so, yeah, so we decided that it would provide a really good, engaging way to be able to communicate and to be able to hopefully engage with a lot of people rather than a small number.
Yeah, I suppose everybody can afford a tenner, can't they, to have a
Yeah.
chance of winning. So why do obviously you've done quite a lot of work in this area, fundraising, but why do you think your draw works so well? I mean, it's £10,000, double what you expected. What did you notice about what was really working?
Um, well, I thought it was really good because, as I think I said before, it did provide it was a very user-friendly experience, and very, very low barrier to entry, really easy for people to get involved. And we started our tickets at £5, so for a fiver, you could get involved. I think it might be useful maybe if I share my screen so I can show you our campaign page, so I can tell you a little bit about it, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Gonna do that. Let's hope technology works here for me. Um,
Yeah, we can see that.
Okay, great. So, as hopefully you can see, we created some really nice, vibrant content. And the good thing about Crowdfunder is you can really make a page your own and make it look like your charity, which is fantastic. And you can put a lot of information on there, a lot of links, link through to your social media, which is fantastic. Yeah, we created a really lovely banner poster, and we got some fantastic images. What I should say is the band, we were very fortunate that they very kindly gave a little bit of time, and we did a photo shoot with them, getting the photo taken with them signing the guitar. So they were playing at the Roundhouse, and we got some really fun shots of them. I think this is what Phil was talking about earlier. It's really good to have a quirky campaign. They're a really, really quirky band. I got really into it, so that was fantastic. So having some great images really helps. And then we got some great images of the guitar itself. Any good content that you can put out there is definitely going to draw people in. You also talked about the number of prizes. Clearly, we didn't have as many as the Nick Cave one did. That was over 100. We had nine, but that included on the day whenever we went to get the guitar signed by the band, we asked if they could sign some set lists and some other little bits and pieces for us as well, which they did, which was amazing. So that meant that people weren't just entering for one prize. There was a potential of nine, which is
Brilliant.
incredible. Yeah. And yeah, and again, just including as much imagery as you can, just to entice people in, to get people involved. Um, we were again really fortunate. I'd say one of my biggest tips would be if you can, and of course mine is based on an artist engagement, but I know there's lots of other kinds of draws that you've talked about with experiences. But It's really great if you can engage with the artist to share the campaign, because at the end of the day,
Yeah.
it's their fans who are gonna bid on it or get involved. And the Darkness did, and we engaged with them. And I do think that a lot of that was down to the fact that, again, they had an affinity with music support. Justin Hawkins has openly talked about the fact that he's in recovery. So it's a cause that means a lot to him. So I think doing something that has meaning for whoever has donated your prize is definitely going to make a difference. If you capture some great content for them, if you make it easy for them to share through their socials, like so far as writing the post for them and sending it to their
Yeah.
social media team so that they don't have to do anything, then that works really well. And it did for us. I'll just show you an example here. If this So here's one of the posts that the Darkness did for us, and that had 1,757 likes on it. It had come directly from them. So it had so much more meaning to their fans, and some beautiful imagery of the
Brilliant.
prize as well. So yeah, getting them engaged, it just makes such a massive difference. The time of year. Oh, sorry, there's a poll. The timing can be really important for us. We did ours at Christmas, and I don't know whether this is something that you would recommend generally, but I think people generally feel a little bit more generous at Christmas time.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I think actually, Lynn, one thing that we should pull out is that Christmas is a fantastic time to run prize draws. It's a bit, I know it's a big time for fundraising for charities. And one of the reasons we wanted to sort of talk about this today was to
yeah,
let people know that as that run into Christmas is a brilliant time. We see our numbers go through the roof.
yeah.
So yeah, definitely something to think about if, if you're thinking about fundraising.
Yeah, definitely. And then, so Christmas was great, but then the timing was brilliant because, as some of you may know, the Darkness have a very famous Christmas song. And so we were using that whenever we were doing our posts on our social media. We were kind of using the music for that as well. And like people, it just added so much more to it and gave it so much more resonance. And also, the Darkness happened to be touring at that time as well, so they were everywhere. So I would definitely recommend that if you're looking to coordinate something with an artist, maybe look at, are they celebrating? Are they on tour? Are they celebrating 10 years of an album? Is there something that's gonna have even more resonance to the audience and also to the artist as well? It's gonna make them want to shout more about what you're doing. So timing is definitely everything. And just to say that I've used many different platforms before, and I'm sure a lot of the people in here have, and a lot of them can be quite difficult to use. But like, I found Crowdfunder really straightforward, really easy to set up the page. As I've already said, you can put your stamp on it. The way you can set out your images, you can see the sort of the tickets as they're being sold. It's really exciting. And the team at Crowdfunder were really great to deal with as well. I mean, I was running my prize draw. Sorry, there's another poll that's popped up. I'm trying to get rid of. I was running my prize draw at Christmas, and it was the first time that I'd done it, and I was quite nervous. But the support team on your side were on hand. If I needed, whether it was somebody at the end of the phone or whether I was kind of using the support option and sending an email. It came back to me really quickly, and I mean that's no main food at Christmas time, so that definitely makes a difference as well. You really feel like you're being supported. So yeah, it was brilliant.
Brilliant. Well, that all sounds great. So obviously you've done a lot of fundraising in your time for your charity. In your opinion, in your sort of experience, why do you think charities and not-for-profits should consider using prize draws over, say, a grant process or some other way of accessing funds?
Yeah. Again, I think it's very user friendly. I know I keep saying this, but it is. But it's a really good way of engaging with a lot of people, and whether that is your audience through to the artist, the people who are donating the prize, because they make them feel really good about themselves as well. And then, as I think Phil already said, the audience that you can reach through their audience as well. Like, I think whenever we looked at the social media stats, we were reaching, like, it was over 660,000
Wow.
fans through both Gibson, who also shared for us, and the Darkness as well. Another thing, in fact, I'm going to share my screen again because I didn't get to say this before, but as I think a lot of people here will appreciate, like, charities are you're all about engagement and um, community and
Mm,
connection and connecting. And I thought that this was great for us because you could really connect with your audience, and that was done through, there is an update section where you
yeah.
can, like, we had set an initial target. I think it was I was quite scared. I was like, oh, if we raise 3 or 4 thousand, that'll be brilliant. And we got there quite quickly. And so at that point, I'm like, right, we want to send a thank you out to everybody to say, listen, we've got this target. Let's keep going. And it was really easy for me to be able to do that. I got a quote, like a thank you from one of our founders. I put this up that went out to everybody who had already participated. So that was amazing. And then whenever we actually raised, whenever we got to our target, it was like we sent out a thank you, a happy holidays to everybody, like the community, sense of community that we're able to, achieve through that was amazing. And also, what thing I didn't realize when we started, but that I thought was incredible was as whenever people, as you will know, whenever people make a donation, they have the option to be able to leave a comment as well. And it was
Mm.
amazing. Where we had 153 comments, and that was for people really supporting what we were doing as music support, but also saying how amazing is this, what the Darkness are doing and what Gibson's doing. And that again, for me to be able to go back to the Darkness and Gibson to say, here's what everybody's saying about this amazing work that we were doing together was absolutely incredible. So building that sense of community, I think is invaluable. And yeah, and there you go. You can see how many supporters you have as well. So yeah, I definitely think like using going with the prize draw, it's just worth its weight in gold. Definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay. Yeah, certainly project owners have said to me that the trick is the secret is communicate, 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 and using that update functionality where you can just tell everybody what's happening, keep them on the journey with you, keep them,
Yes.
thinking about what else they can do for you. It all counts, it all adds up. So yeah,
Yeah.
sounds like you ran a really, really good campaign.